Hello, Shady Cleric here. Hopefully you guys would like another reaction video, so I decided why not make one. It's going to be a little bit of a, I guess you could say hot topic, but who knows. I figured I would weigh in, why not? It's it's return of the slag, I guess you can call them, Bonny Blue. Alright. It's...
Today is my baby shower, and it's going to be so special that it gets turned into a golden shower.
Yeah, this person.
I think I have fully lost faith in humanity.
No, humanity still has faith left. It's just these people who are stupid and lying to themselves that are a problem. Like, I guess you could call them the Gock swallower, who really shouldn't just be going around saying shit, but you know how it is. People be stupid.
Hi, my name is Sydney. Welcome back to hell. So, to a little
Hi,
bit of
Sydney.
housekeeping before we jump in and I torture you all with this video. If you are somebody who has been asking for an update on my hearing loss and my weird neurological issues, I made a post on my community tab yesterday, kind of going over some of the stuff
that
that's been happening
sucks.
with relation to that. So, if you are interested,
Okay, I have something similar to that, but it's pretty bad.
Tea company. So many people have emailed asking me, Sydney, when are the winter flavors coming back? Those were just going to be seasonal, but because so many people have asked for them to be a permanent fixture,
Is there
they
lag?
are now a permanent fixture on the website. Everything is back in stock,
Oh,
including
okay.
the peppermint white chocolate, bourbon barrel chai, and the apple cider, as well as root beer, because that was out for a little bit as well.
That's
if you
nice.
want to try my tea, absolutely give it a crack.
I like
Link
tea.
in the description.
I'm just
Otherwise,
not
those are all back on the site for anybody who has
able to
been
buy
missing them.
tea at the
So, with
moment.
that all being said, it is now time for me to continue to torture you by discussing e-prostitute Bonny Blue.
Oh
The
dear.
situation just gets worse and worse. She makes
This
me
crazy,
incredibly sad
like,
inside.
being.
It is sort of funny because when I talked about this a couple weeks ago, a bunch of you were in my comments like, Sydney, I love the channel. This video I can't watch, which, you know, I understand. And look, as painful as this one's going to be, you're gonna have to stay and watch.
Oh no.
Okay? Because we need to talk about the fact that these people walk among us, and there are thousands of men giving them money. We need to shame them all, because what the hell is this?
Okay.
I cannot wait. Honestly, I really want to be hydrated, dripping in yellow, and I want them women at home crying that they're not pregnant and I'm grown a random man's DNA inside my belly.
Oof. Oh god.
Now, if you don't know who Bonny Blue
Oh,
is, she is
damn.
a actress known for her desire to sleep with barely legal men. She has bragged about men cheating on their wives with her, having adult relations with fathers and then their sons. But what
that's
really
messed
got
up.
news was her stunt sleeping with over 1,000 men in 12 hours or so. Which I'm not really sure if that math is mathing. Now, last we talked about this, I told you all that Bonny Blue is reportedly pregnant, which is a tragedy. And even then, I wasn't 100% sure because this she-witch is pretty great at marketing. I had hoped that this was yet another social media marketing stunt. One where she claims she doesn't know who the baby daddy is and claims that she fell pregnant following one of her infamous events where she had unprotected sex with over 400 men, calling it a breeding mission.
You don't want to be like this.
No one wants to be like this. No, dear.
It's awful in every way.
Oh,
if I
fuck.
could kill it, I would.
Every time I talk about this woman, I can't help but wish for sweet silence. Also,
Oh,
Gondala,
damn.
I thought that you were pregnant after the 1,000 men thing. Can we keep our story straight here, please?
That is quite messed up.
Every time I have talked about this woman, she will basically exploit any situation that she's in to get more eyeballs on her hide the sausage activities, including
as someone who doesn't really do that much when it comes to non-safe for work, I can understand many people's reactions to non-safe for work people doing crazy shit. But at the same time, this is a little bit too far. I don't know. Like, god damn. Like the golden shower thing? What the absolute hell? Like, goodness. I don't. That kid's gonna end up fucked in the head. Then again, this is like the UK we're talking about. It actually might be better if they are. They won't be on the internet. They probably would never get on the internet, so that it's gonna be fine. They'll be fine. Like, a family member's probably gonna just take up the kid from her, or CPS or whatever. Like, no one's gonna let her keep that kid. Like, no one's smart. But then again, this is the UK. Okay, yeah. The kid's cooked, and if it's a daughter, oh no. She might make content with a kid as soon as they turn 18. Oh God. Now thinking about it, that kid's uber screwed.
But not limited to this so-called pregnancy. A few weeks ago, during an interview, she said that she was going through with a baby shower that would actually be a golden shower. For
Ew.
those of you who are innocent little tykes, that is where somebody empties their bladder on another person because the person who's the recipient of that enjoys it in an adult capacity. So many
Oh.
people are not okay. Bon Bon also said that she
Uh,
would be
not to
auctioning off
kink shame,
Cinderella's
but
name
kink
to the
asks
highest
why.
bidder. This is how you end up with a child called Optimus Prime, or Gertrude. But even when she said all of this, I even was like, there's no way. There's just no
That,
way
like,
that she's
you have to be
pregnant.
trolling.
She's gross, but she's not this gross. And her talking about this, the whole purpose of it is to drum up interest and have people talking about her. Hook, line, and sinker, Bon Bon, you got me.
It's only a few days until my golden shower. Yes, it's naughty, but that's all part of the fun. So see you Saturday, boys.
But I was wrong.
Oh.
So deeply, deeply wrong. And you guys know the rules on this channel. If I have to see it, so do you. At
Okay.
her baby shower, she did offer refreshments to her ski mask male attendants, like water with a side of her spit. Delicious.
Okay, so I'm going to hydrate this boy, so hopefully I don't cause too much damage. I'm all about health and safety throughout pregnancy. And I'm going to make sure I stay super hydrated.
Ew.
Maybe I'll put on them in return for that. Seeing as my bladder is so small.
If you are watching this and this is your adult interest, I need you to log off right now and send yourself to a monastery. I cannot.
Yeah. There's not a lot you can excuse about that. Like, a better stance would be this. Some not safe for work things, should only be existing in fiction. Only fiction. Don't try to make the IRL version of it, because either A, it's just extremely weird, B, it's not legal in most places, or D, it's just not feasible. Like, yeah, there's not safe for work content about pregnant women, but you can't really make a lot of content of that IRL because, there's 9 months. Only some of those months are safe for like illicit activities that be happening in it, and you can't do something and then, well, I mean, sure, there is a Japanese video about IRL video of someone in illicit activities with a pregnant woman, and then they tap out, give birth on camera, breastfeed the kid, and then go back to doing the content. But that's an exception, not the rule. So I don't even know, man. That is weird. And I'm ashamed to say I have like family members in the same country. Like, thank God, like most of them are female, because I don't even want to know what they would be doing if they were there, and I knew about it. I do not want to be related to that kid at all. God.
help you. But social isolation maybe can. Actually, you know what? I do know of a thing that can help all of you. Especially if you struggle with smoking or vaping and you're looking to quit your bad habits. You can, thanks to the sponsor of today's video, Fume. And you better watch this, okay? I made you a really funny skit.
Okay.
You better enjoy it. Oh yeah, Fume. Mouth and lips. Do you like to put it in your mouth? Breathing. It makes my lungs sing.
Okay.
Just you.
What? Ah, damn. Just a. Shut up.
I won't lie, Sydney. I'm not really seeing the vision here. This is your Fume ad? They signed off on this? I mean, yeah, I've told you before, sex appeal really sells.
Yeah,
No,
true.
That's not... Sydney, their brief this month is about how Fume helps you break up with smoking and vaping without the patches and the gum and going insane. No, I understand that, but...
Yeah, that makes
people wanna be
sense.
Enthralled. I'm enthralling them. Stop that.
Ew.
I want you to make this again, and this time I want you to actually mention things about the product. I want you to mention how Fume is not a vape, it doesn't have any heating components or chemicals, and how they have a ton of delicious flavors. Go. No weird sex appeal this time. Maybe do an ocean theme for summer, I don't know. Just because you can't breathe underwater like me, like a shark, doesn't mean that you shouldn't take care of your lungs. Your Fume device can help with that because you're not breathing toxins.
Okay.
But flavored air.
That's
Fume has
better.
So many delicious calls to
This
try,
is.
like mango and
Yeah, this is
mint
like a
and sparkling grapefruit.
7 out of 10 ad.
For a
Yeah, that's
summer's day.
better.
And if you're ready to go
I like
into summer
sharks.
cancer stick and vape free, Fume has so many cool products to choose from,
Mhm.
including this Fume base, these Fume toppers, and even their
Well-
sleek Solano Fume.
They look nice.
So what do you think? I honestly wish Fume could create something to fix you because I don't even know where to start. So if you are finally ready
Okay.
to stop with smoking and vaping and try
Yeah, if you have an
better
oral
habits,
fixation,
click the link
I would
in
say
the
go
description, scan
try
the QR
Fume.
code on screen or go to tryfume.com/Sydney. And of course, do not forget to use code Sydney to get your free Fume top-up
Okay.
when you order a journey pack. And as always, massive thank you to Fume for being an ongoing sponsor of this channel and helping so many of you break up with your bad habit.
Alright,
Between
alright.
the awkward silences of men questioning their life decisions, as they should, they also played some party games. So fun.
Okay,
Ew.
so these boys managed to get it into me, okay, and let me grow their baby. So hopefully they're going to get their balls in the diapers just as easy.
Okay, this is boring. Oh no.
2, 1. So for my baby shower, these boys are going to be blindfolded and they have to put the diaper on the teddy the quickest. Whoever wins can have first dibs on my holes. 5,
Okay.
4, 3, get ready boys, 2,
Ooh.
go.
Okay, this is actually hilarious.
Daddy, that's quick at this.
I haven't been able to put my finger on precisely what is so weird about Bonny Blue, but watching a bunch of these clips, I think it's that she talks like a robot. She's got like no emotion. She's a robot. A fembot.
Oh, she's
Today is my baby shower and it's going to be so special.
she's female Mark Zuckerberg. That's it.
You know, at this point, I don't know what's worse, the men showing up to these disgusting shindigs, or the women who are inviting them in the first place, but also planning, advertising, and executing these events.
It's not that bad. It's not like she's doing an
Is
animal.
that your baby? Yeah, I thought so. Somebody needed to take responsibility for it. This is me before I let these men completely cover me in their yellow golden fluids, and I cannot wait.
No! God! No!
Like, I don't really.
Apologize apologize to all of you because these videos, they're so bad. I know they're so bad. I'm sorry.
I mean,
to say
yeah,
that.
they're not
But
really
Bonnie
that
Blue
well
is
edited.
not only putting herself at risk by having all of these men parade around her at all times, but she's also putting this unborn child at risk and exploiting her pregnancy, which showing that she's
Well,
like, at least in public, doesn't really surprise me, but it is still somewhat jarring to hear a woman
as
say
long
that
as the
she's prepared
kid,
to climb aboard the mail train with another passenger on board. And while I really do hate that these mattress actresses lie and rage bait everybody, in this case, I really do wish that this was a hoax, because the fact that there's a real life baby involved in all of this is just
yeah, like
so grim.
it's not
So
child
as a
abuse
result
until the
of the
baby's
aforementioned
born.
baby shower, a few male actors of the hide the sausage persuasion confirmed for real this time that Blue is actually pregnant because they were participating at this event. In a really, really weird twist, both men interviewed for this piece said that they thought they could be Bon Bon's baby daddy because they think that she was impregnated by someone during one of her events. Okay. One of the men said, I get on really well with Bonnie. I do feel like we get on really well, sort of thing. And then obviously with the whole aspect of like, there's a high chance I can be a dad, that was quite hard to watch and take that in, if that makes sense. I don't even know what I'm supposed to be saying about this, honestly.
Yeah, it's a risk of the career.
For these people in camps. Because, yeah, bro, if you think that you fathered a child, it's probably going to be kind of challenging to watch the mother of that child go and get peed on by other men.
Yeah,
That's, I think, a fair reaction. Blue
that is
actually
fair.
had yet another long-form video with the outlet The Daily Star that dropped actually only a few days ago.
Oh
where
no.
They discussed the pregnancy as well as her career. The host, unfortunately, also confirmed that Blue is in fact with child.
Yes, are you actually going to confirm that I'm pregnant, or is it going to be in quotations and it's claiming pregnancy?
I think we can confirm now.
Yeah.
But I think I've known for a few months now that it was real.
When asked how she would explain this stunt to her child one day, she said that she would be upfront and tell them that this is how she funds their lifestyle, and she isn't really worried about the potential
Oh,
for
no.
bullying, since there are so many different reasons a kid could get bullied anyway.
How's the child going to feel?
Well, the child's gonna get bullied anyway because everyone's gonna see like their mom's content, so it doesn't matter.
And he's told, and they start getting questions, and you have to answer like, I did a golden shower. How are you going to explain that?
Just be very transparent. This is what I do. This is what I do to have fun. This is what I do to earn my money, and this is what I do to provide you a nice lifestyle.
Okay, yeah.
I much prefer to be explaining why my child's on a private jet as opposed to explaining to my kids whilst their bike's been stolen at their front garden and they've got barbed wire on their fence.
Yeah, but do you think that will damage their life in some way? You know,
The kid's gonna get bullied for any other reason, but this is gonna be extra fire for the bullies. Like, come on.
Provide them with the best healthcare, a life which they don't have to work, they can travel the world and make so many memories. It's much
I
fun
mean,
and take a bit of
with the
time
whole
as
migrant
opposed to
thing
living
in the
life.
UK,
So funny watching these interviews
the
because
kid's probably
even
gonna
this guy
deal with that kind of
talks with
stuff.
her, and he basically says, you're being kind of flippant about your perspective towards your own child, and that's sort of messed up. Oh, you reckon, Stephen? You reckon? Bonnie acknowledged that while her child might experience hardships because of her adult career, their life will be so good in every other way that it will be worth it. But she is going to mitigate this.
That's
by
not a
not
fair
putting them in
trade-off.
school at all.
and let's say your child, this is all hypothetical, obviously, but if
Yeah.
they're on the playground and another child shows them one of your videos online, they come home crying to you. What are you going to say?
One, I don't think the child will go to
One.
school. I don't really think it's worth it.
One,
I've
the-
met people
the-
with master's degrees and
Before I even go on with this, Bonnie Blue lives in the UK. Considering the recent laws in the UK, a child's not going to be able to show, like said Bonnie's kid, that content because of the online ID laws. And even if they were to do a workaround, which obviously someone's going to do that, why? Why would you think this like so quickly? And even if that did happen, that would, the fact that it's Bonnie Blue's kid and all the stuff Bonnie Blue's done, that kid's gonna be hounded by certain types of people. So it's not even the bullies that you should be concerned about. It's the predatory people who like would hound the kid specifically to get them to do what Bonnie does. especially before they're like of the age of consent, because they, of course, it's going to happen. A freaking course. You can't like put anything on the internet and not have that kind of like idea or situation. It's just stupid. Like, God damn, some people are just. She's not dumber than all the people you see in the police body cam videos. They're obviously dumber than her, but like, this take is just completely and utterly stupid. I hate it.
A long list of things and they're in the complete opposite job of what they've just wasted their life and money on.
Ah, yes, that is the solution. You do embarrassing things to the extent that your child can't be around other children because those children might bully your child for your embarrassing choices. Terrific.
Okay, so today for 6 hours back to back, I'm going to be letting men cover me in fluids, and this is group one. This is what I look like before, and I will show you later.
I absolutely don't hate being alive right now. Listen, baby.
No.
I know that so many people support homeschooling, and I'm sure that a bunch of you do.
Not a lot of
Some you
homeschoolers are
homeschool
good.
your children. I'm sure that some of you want to and don't like your kids being in school, and you support this practice.
No, no. Homeschooling exists for a few reasons. Sometimes, like, the school administration in your area is just terrible, so you have to do it. And sir, you're sure your kid might not be up to the best standing or status or capability of private and public school kids. Other times, your kid is just disabled in some sort of way, so and your school just discriminates against them in some sort of way, so you have to take them out. Other times, it's just random BS that happened in your life that you can't have the kids go to normal school or the schools are shut down. Those are fine. Other times you homeschool your kids is to indoctrinate them into some BS or do some abuse or something, and it's just terrible. And I don't advise for it. And even then, homeschooled kids still need to have like socialization. That's why there's like groups for people who homeschool, so they can have their kids socialize with other kids, so they can be well-developed members of society. Her homeschooling the kid, yes, is probably the only way that kid will have a proper education, but no. This kid is doomed completely and utterly, because if she's homeschooling, she's definitely going to still keep making content. So the kid can't even be in the room. Like, hell, when it comes to IRL adult content, they blur the faces of cats and dogs that wander onto the set. A kid wanders in, it's over, because especially because it's OnlyFans, they don't have that kind of like thing. Is I think OnlyFans and Fansly, they your video content has to be live, not like pre-recorded, so you can't edit out the faces, which is why all the men in these videos have like ski masks and shit. It's like it can't be edited out. So the kid, in all senses of the word, would have to be either in public or private school, because they can't be homeschooled. Like, you can't do it. So yeah, the kid is screwed. Is They're not going to like end up okay. And like, Lord help me if it's like more than one kid. Like, I don't know if it's more than one kid, but Lord help me if it's more than one kid. Like, gods, whichever. Like, and if it's male, oof. Like, sure, there's a bright side. The kid may end up being trans if they're male, and that would be fine, because that would legitimately be better. Because no woman would want to date a man whose mom is like that. And if the kid's female and they're not trans and they're not gay and they're just straight, whatever, like cis, heteronormative, or whatever gender they end up being, their dating life is done. You're gonna have to pretend to either be gay or ace or something, because no one's going to interact with them in a positive way where they can have a healthy relationship. Like if it's a chick, they're obviously going to be go down the pipeline into doing content like their mom, probably with their mom. If they're male, they might still end up doing content with their mom because no one really cares if a female abuses a male in that sort of way. Like I know it's Men's Mental Health Month, I should hype up that kind of fact, but at the same time, it does feel performative to just say it, but it is true. Like if she does any content with her son, no one's really going to care because no one cares about that kind of thing happening to a male. But at the same time, you just have to feel bad for the kid. God. Oh my God. No. It's just terrible. And you know there's even worse lows. Especially because, like, genetic engineering, people are talking about making cat girls real, and we're getting step by steps how to get closer to that goal. The second that happens, things like this will just get worse. Because already you can find videos of people doing animals in countries where it's legal, and that content is like not that hard to find. So, and the content she's making is not even that hard to find. Like you can find it on the most mainstream of not safe for work sites, but it's better if it's from a fictional perspective, not an IRL video perspective. And that's the problem most people have. It's just wrong. But but she's of age and it's her body, her choice, so we can't really stop her.
For a bunch of good reasons, and there's a lot of them out there, but I think it's sort of hard to get behind somebody wanting to do this when her thought process behind it is so that she can continue filming herself having sex with village amounts of men.
Oof.
Not great. In addition to continuing to sleep with as many men as she possibly can, she also says that she is still in the dating pool because, of course, she is.
Have you ever seen a game where the stronger you become, the more dangerous it is? You are in the wilderness with no...
And are you still?
No. Just no. Oh God, no. No, this woman. Like, come on. Still in the dating pool? Okay, fine, sure, maybe. Maybe you might find somebody. But no, that's not likely. There's not a lot of people who will take you. God.
Dating people at the minute, or how does that work? Probably too busy.
Yeah, no, still dating, as and when it's not a priority. But if it happens and I meet the right person, amazing. And if I don't, it's better to be single than be with someone that's not very nice.
I would genuinely throw myself into a ravine if this was my life. There is so much dysfunction here, and there are so many more insane comments in this interview. I'll link it in the description. You can watch it in your own time. But one of the ones that stood out to me was her parents saying that, they know that she rage baits and they think it's funny. But what I sort of think is also quite asinine is how she has continued this trend of pretending that she doesn't know who the dad of this baby is and what his role will look like in this child's life. In my last video about this, I did say that because I know so much about this woman's life, most of it against my will, most of it I've learned by osmosis, but I know it anyway.
Okay.
I do think that the father of this child is Bonnie Blue's ex-husband, or her current husband. It's sort of hard to tell where she stands on really anything, but I think it's him. He makes the most amount of sense. I know that he's still in her life. She's talked about him before. And yeah,
Oh,
it
she
also
was married?
that they were trying to get pregnant for a long period of time, and she really struggled with that, which is why she's a big proponent of IVF. It's not that I want.
Okay, IVF is pretty cool. It's like I support IVF. Heck, I was now I remember what I was about to say. Like nymphomania is technically a real mental disorder. People don't really consider it, but yes, it is a pretty serious mental disorder. It affects like both genders. Everyone can have a chance to have it, and sometimes it is an indicator of a psychosis. Like for some people, yes, like nymphomania, like temporarily happening, and then right before the psychosis happens is a thing that is recognized as like a thing that can happen as a one of the signs of oncoming psychosis. I know that. It's just why? Why the absolute fuck are we supporting people like bragging and showing off their mental disorders all the time? And I know, you don't have to have a mental disorder or be a nymphomaniac to be not safe for work creator. Like hell, I make not safe for work content, but my not safe for work content is me just playing not safe for work games and posting the videos on a site that's specifically for that. This is different. This is just, oh god. The more I watch, the more sick I feel. I'll probably have to like spend a half an hour in the restroom after this.
To know these things, but I do. I do, and I hate it. But when speaking about this quote-unquote unknown father, when she was asked if the father will be there to
But at
shield
least
the
her
baby's
parents are
first
still
steps,
alive,
Bonnie
so
Blue
it could go to
basically said
them.
possibly if she's narrowed down who it is, which is bad enough on its own, but her follow-up comment is infinitely worse. She added that money could buy a nanny who is probably a lot better than what most fathers do for people. She doesn't necessarily think that you have to have a father. Quote, I know a lot of people are brought up by single mums, and credit to them. Some people are brought up by their grandparents. Some are brought up via adoption, and I don't think it is fair to say that they need a father figure.
Okay, no. No, no, no. Almost all of the criminals that have been a major problem in the world has some issue with one of their parents. Usually it's because they don't have a father figure. Most of the usual suspects in police body cam videos are from a culture where they mostly don't have a father figure. No. This kind of thinking is what causes so much problems in society. I, yes, you're adopted. That's cool. You still have parents. You still have people who love you because you're adopted. You're raised by your grandparents because your parents are terrible. Okay. Hopefully your grandparents are good people. Most single mom childhoods aren't the best, but they can be worse. Like a single father childhood is closer to that of what you get with like adopted parents and grandparents and whatnot. But I'm not trying to make it a men versus women thing. It's just a lot of bad people are brought up by single moms. A lot. And like, I hate how we keep hyping that culture up. The culture that makes it so that it's only single moms bringing up the kids. And the kids aren't disciplined, and they don't face consequences, and they cause problems. This one statement is just saying this kid is going to be ruined. If they're not going to be ruined from bullying, they're going to be ruined because they don't get like proper parenting from their parents, and they end up doing crimes. It's just, how should I put this? The worst childhood for a development of a kid, only one worse than single parents, is child stars. Like, because most of them are just as bad, if not worse. Now, I'm not saying all of them are, but most of them. It's the same reason why certain things are illegal. Like, the amount of people where this thing that is morally dubious is perfectly fine is way, way less than the amount of people where it would ruin them. That's why incest is bad. That's why uh, adult child like relationships are bad. That's why like people and animals are bad. That's why for a lot of people like same-sex couples are bad. That's why for a lot of people like the trans kid argument is bad. It's like the amount of people who are generally helped by this thing being a-okay, encouraged, supported, yada yada, is less than the people who would be completely utterly ruined by that certain thing. And because we are not favoring the minority but the majority, that thing is considered illegal, immoral, and wrong. Like I could go into a longer argument about this, but like I only woke up a bit ago, and I am not 100% here, so I just don't even like. God, I hate every bit of that kind of statement. You need a parent in your life. You need both parents in your life, and if you don't have both parents, you need at least something close enough. And if you don't have that, that is just setting up the child for failure. I just, oh my God. Like, I'm also for supporting non-safe for work people. It's just, you gotta be not safe for work responsibly. You can't be the laissez-faire Hollywood depiction of not safe for work people. And Bonnie is that. Like, Bonnie is to most non-safe for work creators what uh, 50 Shades of Grey is to the BDSM community. It is just terrible, horrible nonsense. Oh my God. It is hilariously bad. She's like a character from a romantasy novel or something.
I don't know, Von. I'm thinking that if you yourself had a better father figure, a lot of this probably wouldn't be happening. You know, I think this is rich, coming from the human embodiment of daddy issues. One of the things that I think is worth noting, and
Wait,
is
did
sort
she
of
do
on
her
the plus
dad?
side, is that I find it rather alarming, but also really quite fascinating that while she is espousing all of these socially corrosive opinions and ideas,
No.
she is also simultaneously building quite a normal following of, it seems to be, mostly young women on her behind the scenes Bonny Blue social media accounts.
Oh
There's so
no.
much to unpack there, but we're not gonna even try. Like I
No.
mentioned last time, Blue's behind the scenes account is where she talks about her life, her stunts, and her stupidity like a totally normal, sort of relatable person.
Oh no.
In this video, for example, she admits that her entire YouTube channel is rage bait, which means that the videos of her pretending to drink while pregnant are definitely not real.
Okay.
Thankfully.
I'm a YouTuber. Uploaded a YouTube video. YouTube's very hit and miss, especially my Bonnie Blue YouTube, because basically I use it for rage bait. But I will be setting up a wholesome BTS YouTube, I think, starting off with the birth of the baby.
But this is
No.
still...
You're not
I
gonna.
dare you to let me
God
build
damn
you
it.
a completely free e-commerce store, preloaded.
I don't care right now.
influencing others. It is still...
Wait, is this gonna be like the incident on Twitch where someone gave birth live on stream? Are you gonna record the birth? Because that is not something you like. I know it's terrible, it's wrong and whatnot. One of the few things you can't really find that easily on the internet is recordings of people giving birth. Animals, sure, probably you can find a lot of that, but people, not really. Now, while I'm not advocating for more of that stuff, I'm more advocating that that would be a line that I doubt YouTube will let you cross. Like, heck, YouTube will allow a lot of things as long as it's under the guise of being educational. And a lot of times, yeah, it may seem to cross that line of not being, but usually all of those things that people say, well, how's this on YouTube? And it's like, because it's listed under educational, and technically, yeah, all of it is. And usually it's stuff like that has nudity in it and whatnot, or it's videos of a specific place that public nudity is perfectly a-okay, and you end up seeing some people nude on the camera and they're not blurred out, but it's because it's an educational documentary, it's still there on YouTube. That's fine. I know people will rage about it. I know I might get hate for it, but that's fine. This might not be something that would go well under YouTube. Like, yeah, there's videos about how to properly breastfeed on YouTube that you could find. Sure, whatever. This might not fly. I don't know if it will fly.
Sending a message and a blueprint of sorts to other women in particular who might want to follow in these footsteps. She is still sending a message to others, and she's doing so in such a way that's putting her unborn baby at risk, which is it's just disappointing. The dichotomy of this woman's behavior is so bizarre. Publicly, she's talking about doing the devil's tango with 9 billion men. Meanwhile, she's asking people for nursery wallpaper opinions.
Oh
Anyway,
no.
I am still so disturbed by all of this, and I'm sure some of you are thinking, Sydney, why are we talking about this? Why are we talking about these
No.
people? Why are we talking about these situations? And to my mind, I think it's always good to shine a light on what is going on outside of our normal sort of political cultural bubble, because when you look
Ugh.
at what these women are doing and how many of them there are, you start to realize that they're not just appealing to men, but they're also appealing to other women who are looking at them
Huh.
and wanting to emulate this. And the
Oh, I
other
thought
thing
you were gonna
too is
add
that women
lesbians
making
into
OF
this, but
content
okay.
or adult style content like this and doing it from their own houses in their bedrooms, whatever, is becoming really common, and it's growing in numbers year on year. And now
Yeah,
you've got
but
all these women running around saying that what they're doing at this juncture in their life is not going to have a negative, deleterious impact on their children somewhere.
that's the problem. For some, it doesn't, but for a lot, it does because not everyone makes actual money off of this content. Some people some people do it for the love of the game. Some people do it for money. Some people are forced into it, and some people like try it out, find out they don't like it, and they stop. A lot of people are acting like they're in the last section of people where they did this content, they didn't like it, they stopped. It won't affect the rest of their life. That is different than most of the other types where it can affect the rest of their life, it might not affect the rest of their life, or it will definitely affect the rest of their life. Bonnie and a lot of other people who do this stuff aren't in those categories. They should stop acting like they are. That is LARP. That is terrible. You are going to end up destroying other people's lives in the process of you pretending that this is a thing. Especially if you actually do end up with somebody and they have a job that requires certain kinds of background checks or restrictions, and your content, if it shows up, will end up affecting their lives. So even if it doesn't affect you, it'll affect people you're with, people you're related to, or something else, and that could end up hurting them. Like if my family member did content like this and it started affecting my life and my job opportunities, I would be pissed. If my parent did this and I couldn't get anything because their content shows up and affects my life, I would be pissed. Anybody would. But because it's a bunch of chicks saying this, you really can't say anything bad about it because then you get labeled incel, misogynist, yada yada yada, or a pick me or whatever. And that's stupid. Whoever does that is stupid. If you're doing something that will affect others, it's like your your freedoms and your rights stop when they start affecting others' freedoms and rights. That is the main unspoken rule of society. You live live however you want, live and let live until it affects other people's ability to live and let live. Then you need to pull your head in and stop whatever it is because it is a danger or a harm to others. That is part of the main crux of why a lot of things are considered wrong and immoral. Like, you don't even need to bring religion to this. It's just, if your live and let live affects others' live and let live, it's most likely bad and you should stop. If if your live and let live is to prevent people's live and let live from hurting others' live and let live, that is usually considered morally good, and that is usually people who are on this side of laws or justice or morality. There is going too far in either direction. Stop it. Being in the middle is fine. You don't need to be on either end. Stop trying to pretend like you should be. God.
down the road, and that is not a reasonable or logical standpoint. And I have covered this too in great detail, so I won't rehash it, but it is worth noting that so much of this socially is being normalized, and I find that really, really alarming. And when you
That's
have
terrible.
women like Bonnie Blue, who clearly know the game, who know that doing insane things is going to get eyeballs, who knows that doing things that make people extremely angry is just going to continue growing her brand, how long is it before we see a bunch of other women doing precisely what Bonnie Blue is doing? And beyond that, then there's this little person that we're talking about. And while there are
Oh
plenty
no.
of people who grew up
I don't
in
want to be
less than
involved or
hospitable environments and turn out
known
perfectly fine,
related to
I don't
that.
think that overall we should be encouraging or using dysfunction to market situations like this. We should not be encouraging any of this at all, especially the insistence coming out of someone like Bonnie Blue that fathers don't matter. That is such a weird, wrong statement. Having
That's
both
terrible.
parents is important growing up. It provides a critical balance and consistency for kids, and we know this because this has been proved with data and research. Without this, children grow up on basically hard mode. They are more likely to struggle financially, more likely not to graduate, more likely to have substance abuse problems or end up in jail or experience abuse of some kind. So, yeah, you could say that dads are useless for the engagement, but anyone who actually believes this is really dumb and
Yeah,
has
it's
no
just
clue
plain old
about the real
misandry
world
or
impact of
misogyny
broken
or
boundaries.
both.
But Bonnie Blue isn't dumb. She's just obsessed with marketing herself, and crazy stunts and stories are how she's going to make a lot of money and how she does make a lot of
Yeah,
money.
I
But I do
hate this.
wonder how many other people she's influencing with all of this, including other adult creators who will.
Yeah, it's just stupid. Like, here's the thing. If you do what ancient Rome did, where men and women had their own rights, but adult content people weren't considered the same part of the female group, but they were still documented and taxed, that would be fine. Like, if prostitution was legal, but it was taxed and heavily documented, heavily regulated, the government knew where every single one had all their documents, knew all their health and whatnot, and rated and paid them and did all that accordingly. Yeah, that's fine. I'm all for that. Plenty of countries have done that, and they are doing just as well, if not better, than a lot of other countries. The problem comes when you do all the things that are necessary for that in such a terrible way that no one would actually respond positively, like Bonnie's doing. Because OnlyFans is basically legal prostitution for some creators. You are making the arguments for certain types of things just terrible to like support. Just like how a lot of things feminists support are just not supported at all by the majority because of how terrible certain feminists act. Not to just rag on them too much. It's just when things are terrible and you can't acknowledge they're terrible, you end up radicalizing people. When things are good, but you can't acknowledge that they're good, you end up radicalizing people. No matter what your stance on anything is, if you make it so that you can't acknowledge the thing, you radicalize someone. And shit like this is what's going to be used to say remove women's right to vote or whatever. This is the this would totally be used as a psyop if it wasn't just a random woman in the UK. I just and I say this as someone who technically, if I have to go do Pride Month stuff, would belong to certain groups that would have terrible PR. I would not want someone like this anywhere near any argument about my rights. I don't want that. A lot of people should be going, this is your specific group's equivalent to that if you're going to do identity politics about it. But they not because it's Britain, and Britain is just I shouldn't shit on Britain this hard. Britain has done some cool things in the past. Britain doesn't deserve to have this much hate for them. I just don't like this.
Follow in her footsteps inevitably. I mean, ultimately, it is really distressing that she is using her pregnancy for adult interest content, that she is leaning into people who have these kind of persuasions and using her unborn child to do so, and I'm a little alarmed to think about what she's going to do when this little person gets
It's
older.
hell
I mean,
gondola.
this is her job, but I do have to say that it is distressing that somebody would promote this level of degeneracy.
This is a black collar job. I don't like.
You know, and overall, it's really sad that we have a little person in this situation who didn't ask for any of this, who is going to grow up and ultimately be exposed to all of the embarrassing things that his or her mom did on the internet for money all these years ago.
And this is why I say Bonnie Blue is the perfect ad campaign for abortions. Because if it's legal and you just regulate it better, this person doing all this stuff would have had the government come in and go, nope, getting rid of the baby. That's pretty much my take on it. That is the correct take on it. This is the perfect argument to do that kind of stuff. Do I support it or no? I'm not telling you. I'm letting you make your own decisions because I'm just a content creator. I can't tell you what to do. Make your own decisions. Like, think for yourself. But god damn, are some of these people just,
In the end, like I have said before, I feel so bad for the little person involved in this situation, and I feel really disappointed that Bonnie Blue is doing this. And while I keep saying I shouldn't be surprised, I guess I am, because every time I think this person has hit rock bottom, she hasn't, she just continues to dig. In this case, it really just is like watching a car crash. Now on
Okay.
that very happy and pleasant note, and before I open the floor to all of you, this is just a reminder to check out Fume using the link in the
Alright.
description. If you are struggling with smoking or vaping, or you just have a bad habit that you'd like to break, absolutely check them out. This could be the solution for you. Now,
Yeah.
I open the floor to all of you. What do you all think? Are you on my side of this, where you're just watching this unfold and thinking, I am grossed out and upset, but I don't even have the words to describe why? Are you on the other side where you think this is fine? Why are we even making a fuss about this? We should all ignore
Okay.
this woman and maybe she'll go away. Are you somewhere in the middle where you think, yeah, this is not great, but no, it's not that big of a deal? What do you think about the fact that Bonnie Blue went ahead and actually turned a baby shower into content? Is that gross? Is that normal? Do you think that other women are going to follow in her footsteps?
You can turn baby showers into content, just not this kind of content.
Overall, as always.
Alright. So that was Sydney Watson's video on, like, the Bonnie Blue situation. I don't even, oh god. Alright, I'm gonna be right back. I need to go void my insides after thinking about this for so long. Bye.